If you're a solo player, you probably understand the struggles of having bad teammates. Whether it be triple negative duelists, no commas, throwers, or people who just don't listen. Solo queue can be a complete nightmare to win consistently. However, even with these circumstances, you are still able to find success in solo queue, so much so that you can reach your dream rank. The reason why you're hard stuck isn't because of your bad teammates, it's because you fail to understand how to have more impact in your games, and therefore carry them. Everybody gets bad teammates, whether you're an iron or you're a pro player. You're still going to get bad teammates in ranked. So why is it that some players are able to solo queue to Ascendant and Immortal, while others are stuck in Bronze and Silver? The reason for this is because it's all about the player, not the environment. Hey guys, Yonake here, and before I get into it, here are my credentials. I'm a 19-year-old Immortal 3 player who climbed from Iron 3, so trust me when I say that I have been through the trenches and have a good idea of what it takes to both rank up and improve as a player. Join me on my journey as I attempt to make a career for myself out of the game I enjoy playing so much. And if you care to stick around even after this video, you'll be able to see how I climbed the rank ladder and become one of the only players to have gone from Iron to Radiant. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can have more impact in your games and greatly increase all your stats as a solo player. Or even if you're a player who never solo queues due to fear of underperforming, whatever the reason may be, I'm going to teach you how to thrive in the solo queue environment so you're not dependent on anyone. Over the past year, I've thrown myself into the act of solo queuing a lot more often than not because I hated the idea of needing someone as a crutch, and with the aspirations I have, I need to learn how I myself can create impact. Carrying your ranked games is a lot easier said than done. You watch an insane clip and think, yeah, I'm going to queue ranked and dominate, but proceed to play such a mediocre game. There are 4 main areas of gameplay you need to develop and improve on to succeed in solo queue. The main categories are 1. A lack of ego, 2. Communication, 3. Mechanics, and 4. Mentality. And I'll touch on 2 subcategories, which are a combination of the 4 I mentioned above. You learn about them as you watch the video. Secret! 1. Lack of ego. When I say ego, I don't just mean the belief that you're better than everyone. I mean the place that comes along with it. The majority of players, including my past self, have too much respect for higher ranked players and put them on a pedestal. I remember being Ascendant and still looking up to Immortals and Radiants, and nowadays, I'm so frustrated by watching some of their gameplay. We either try to outplay them or fear them so much we don't even peek against them. You also do this when you put the enemy team on a pedestal, but what we fail to remember is that Valorant is a first-person shooter game. All that matters is that you kill the entire enemy team before they kill yours, so stop overcomplicating the game and play like you're Smurf. Smurfs have zero respect to the enemy team because they have maximum confidence, which makes them adopt a very disrespectful and aggressive playstyle, which allows them to frag out way more and hard carry themselves out of that rank. Now, let's look at you. You play with a scared mentality, and always hesitate on every decision you make, never really fully committing to it. To climb out of a rank, you have to be better than the people in that rank. That's what it means to be a higher rank than someone else. This means having the impact of a plat or higher ranked player in gold. This means to become a platinum player, you need to play with the confidence that you're better than all gold players. However, this doesn't mean you run it down every round, as that will backfire. It's about having a calm confidence in whatever play you decide to make, regardless of what your teammates might tell you. You learn fastest that way. Now that we understand this, we can start to shift our mindset when it comes to how we play. Number 2. Communication. There are only 4 types of comms that matter, and most ranked players use none of them. The worst part is that you also may be given comms that make your teammates play worse. In this section, you'll be told what to say, when to say it, and what to stop saying to find more success in solo queue. Before I continue, selfish plug here, but if you have any questions you want answered live, I stream on Twitch and will be trying to do so every day at twitch.tv/yonakas. Pull up and come say hi. All the links to my socials are in the description down below. Thank you. Communication matters because it helps your team consistently make better decisions. Imagine being locked into your crosshair and still being constantly aware of what was going on around you. That's the impact comms have. Now there's 4 types, as said by Aaron. 1. Infocomms. These are the comms that are foundational to boosting the situational awareness of your entire team. These are just useful facts that help you and your team make smarter and better informed decisions. The most important infocomms are enemy locations, as they impact the game the most. Here's an example.
One logs. Locks.
After the big brawl, I had no info on anyone but the side player, so overstating Cage's location allowed me to have an easy time killing her, which eventually allowed us to win the round.
Behind the box. Nice.
Oh! I'm the best in game. Server also stating Phoenix's location allowed me to be 10 times more confident in making my decision. which made the fight 10 times more easy for me as well. That's the kind of impact infocoms can have. They define rotates or positioning. For example, 5A main, stack A, 3 alive with 2 mid and 1 main, you know where to hold. Infocoms involve stating what you see or hear, like utility, footsteps, guns, enemy ults, and overall enemy actions such as rotating, rushing, or defaulting. The list goes on. The quality of your decisions is now powered by the information you have. Now, before I continue, and before you complain about the fact that your teammates aren't calm, you need to realize and understand and remember, you're improving for you, not for them, and by playing the best you can have an all-round positive effect around you. For effective infocoms, keep it short, say the info as soon as you get it, and be specific. Don't say that, or there, or here, okay? The next communication type is intention comms. This involves stating what you're doing and going to do, because believe it or not, your teammates can't read your mind, and you can't read theirs. Coordination is much easier when you're prepared for it, and therefore, you only use intention comms when they're relevant. That is, you have a teammate nearby who can potentially play off of you. It is important that when you give these comms that you have zero expectations to be supported. This is to help your mentor because you can't control the actions of others. However, instead of making a play and hoping your teammates follow along, you can instead coordinate the play, leading to the third type of comms. 3. Coordination comms. This involves telling your teammates what you want them to do, like let's fight A main together on sunset. However, it's risky because your teammates might not be willing to listen, complain that you're backseating, or even worse, they listen, and the execute of the play from everyone is different because everyone understands the game on different levels. To increase your chances of successful coordination, A. Keep the comms simple and specific. For example, instead of just saying fight A, you could say clove one way, neon stun, and I'll flash as soon as barriers drop. B. Focus on only the players near you. Do not micromanage your team on the other side of the map. You'll piss them off, and you like the context they have. An important part of this communication type is acknowledgements. That is, a short response to establish the comm was heard. If you're coordinating, confirm you're on the same page. If you're part of the coordination, let the coordinator know with any simple and short phrase/word that confirms you heard them. Like yes, got you. The last type of comms which influences performance consistency the most is vibes comms. These comms keep energy high and help the team stay focused. Hyping up your teammates after a play or moving on from a bad round very quickly is very central to this. This means you need to avoid toxic comms because if good comms have this much of a positive effect, then so do toxic comms negatively. Comms that attack your teammate's character or play only help the enemy team, and even if you mean well and want to fix problems, remember this: ranked is not the place for constructive criticism. If a fix is important, learn to reframe the way you speak so your teammates don't feel attacked. Instead of saying your stuns were terrible, ask them to be placed differently for the next round. After every round, all you really need to say is good job or nice try. Section 3. Mechanics. For this section, it is important you understand two things. You do not need insane aim to climb ranked. If you excelled in every other section I mentioned in this video, then you'd have no problems ranking up, even with terrible mechanical stats. However, having good mechanics is essential to propelling the fastest within this game. Valorant is an FPS game, so not having insane mechanics will hold you back, and is something you should work on every day to build consistency and improve. In relation to section 1, ego, if you don't have the aim and mechanical skill to back up the playstyle I talked about, you'll be dying constantly and throwing rounds because you lose your fights, and it also hurts your confidence, which is required for this playstyle. The contradictory nature of these two statements above lead to this. What you need to focus on at a baseline to back up this playstyle is your fight IQ. Don't just fully focus your raw mechanics and ignore everything else. If you run it down without thinking, even with the best aim in the world, you will get one-tapped and sit there thinking your aim is a problem. Fight IQ is a strategy that makes every gunfight you take as favorable as possible for you. If you find yourself getting one-tapped, whiffing, or crouch spraying constantly, chances are it's not just your aim that's the problem, it's your fight IQ. Fight IQ is knowing what to do and mechanics enable you to do it. The two most important parts of fight IQ to understand are awareness and positioning. In other words, being aware of where your target is going to be and being in the best position to capitalize off of it. Let's analyze my fight IQ in this clip. After killing Jett, I just hold my cursor out wide because I anticipate the enemy will peek into me because they've been playing very disrespectful and aggressive. After that, my server comes that KJ is logged, so I just pre-aim into the wall to have an easier time killing her. And then after ulting, I just shift up on Phoenix because the pressure's on him and he might not know my exact positioning or the timing at which I'll peek him. So I take my time with the peek and I just circle the corner and kill him. Understanding fight IQ and training it is what will put you ahead of 99% of players, because it is heavily overlooked and casually just tossed in as a part of game sense. To improve your fight IQ the fastest, you need to 1. Constantly have a plan at the start of the round before barriers drop. A big part of fight IQ is being mentally prepared, and the more influence you have in the round, the more fights you can dictate the outcome of. Autopiloting and making decisions with no thought behind them will punish you more times than it would, because you're caught off guard when you don't anticipate the next stages of the game. I found the most success in my gameplay last act when I employed this technique at the start of every round. I promise you that if you do this every round, you won't only find more success in your games, but will also improve as a player much faster, because you start to understand the general ways in which you can punish the enemy team more often. Number 2. Similarly, another way to improve your fight IQ is to constantly ask yourself questions during the round. Questions like this improve the quality of your decision making. Where does Jet always dash on site, and can I isolate her before her team floods? If you know the answer, then you immediately make it harder for the enemy team to get on site. And even if you don't, always trying to see what you can or cannot get away with allows your next decision in the round to have a higher success rate, because at this point, you would, and should, make adjustments based on the information. It goes deeper than just this, but simply applying this thought process is something that most players either don't do, or do very mindlessly and poorly. To touch briefly on raw mechanics for this section, in Valorant, mechanics can be broken down into 2 categories. Passive aim, which is mainly made up of crosshair placement, and active aim, which is made of actions that involve moving your crosshair from point A to point B, like flicking, tracking, and the list goes on. The higher rank you are, the more important passive aim is over active aim, because the pathing of players are much more predictable. To gain a better idea of what you can do to improve your mechanics, I would suggest watching my most recent video. It goes over what I've already said and more. What Senna calls fight IQ, I've called gunfight hygiene, since we talk about it in a similar but different way. Section 4, Mentality. I always say how important mental is, and place even more of an emphasis on it at the end of my videos. Valorant, in my opinion, is a 30% mechanics and 70% mental game. The ability to avoid tilt and reduce coping is so central to not only consistently performing well, but improving. Here's a clip of me with bad mental, after which I try to reset and lock in.
Oh my god, I was full blind.
I might keep trolling, and I really am doing it on purpose to get me out. So, just win the show and get the fuck out.
I wait for you, you have ult.
Like I
Close
never.
to me, close to me.
Enemy remaining.
Come on. Whoa! Nice. Ah,
I
full
want
base,
to win this game, bro.
Someone please.
One out main. Yes, lane. One lane, nice.
Wait in market. Market.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Resetting allowed me to play at a higher standard and have more impact in my game, and we ended up eventually winning in a game where I previously could not care less to. Therefore, mental is really important because it affects everything. I talked about this in my Eye into Mortal video, but essentially, what's important to realize is that anything that isn't in your control should be disregarded. It should have no emotional hold over you. What your teammates are doing, or whether there's a smurf an enemy team, it doesn't matter. I promise you that it is not why you struggle to climb. Because not only did I have to overcome this in my climb from Eye into Immortal, but even as an Immortal, you see the drastic change having a good mental can have in the clip I just broke down from my game just yesterday. If you want to know more about mentality, I'd recommend watching the Eye into Immortal video and checking out my other videos, as I go into the concept in every video at this point. Regardless of your reasoning, whether it's because you actually want to improve or just see a shiny red PNG on your screen. If you work on the 4 main concepts above, you find significantly more success in your games. Understand that increasing your rank doesn't come from just winning more games, but from becoming an all-round better player. And becoming an all-round better player involves being able to combine the 4 categories I just talked about depending on the scenario. The 2 subcategories are not the only that exist. Valorant is an easy game, but it is also deep. Understand that there are many more, with mentality playing a part in every one, with at least some level of ego. That is confidence. But I briefly wanted to talk about 2 different ways of play. Number 1, leading executes. This mainly combines communication, ego, and mentality. Mechanics don't play the biggest part here because leading executes involves IGLing and or entering for the team. Neither space taking or IGLing requires mechanics. Ideally you employ both because when you call the start to the round and also lead it, it makes it easier for your teams to follow and you act as a spear for the round. The subtle positive effect this also has is that by leading the execute instead, you are less likely to pin the blame on someone else for the execute going wrong, negatively impacting your mental. Number 2, playing off teammates or making space from lurking. This combines all 4 main categories, with communication being the most important. Also, how important mechanics are depends on the context. If you find the timing and are able to backstab the enemy and get set free, then you didn't need mechanics. However, if you lucked and killed the players on sight, then mechanics are required. But in both scenarios, you made space for the team, and communicating that across to them is important, improving the quality of their decision making. You see how everything I've said comes full circle? Playing off teammates can involve playing off of the sound they make, to catch the enemy off guard, or asking questions, or looking at the minimap, to gain an understanding of their POV. How many on sight? Have you seen enemy sentinel? This allows you to make better quality decisions, allowing your lurks to be significantly more effective. If you want to know more about how you can improve, check out the videos on my channel, or come ask me questions live on Twitch or on my Discord server, link in the description. All my platforms will be linked there as well. And if you've made it this far, I hope I provided you with a ton of value and made everything make sense. If you want to support me in future videos, drop a sub. I promise a button won't bite. Thank you so much for watching, and know that you are loved and appreciated for making it to the end. The great mini sadness I returned from my first video. Essentially, the only message I have for today is it's easy to lose track of the progress you've made. It's easy to kind of backtrack, especially when you've taken a big break. But try not to ever doubt yourself, and if you ever feel like you're struggling again in a situation where you weren't before, take a step back, look at what you used to do before, remember all the things you taught yourself, re-employ those techniques, and you see success again. Thank you.